Come on now. Y'all already know what it is. Hey, first things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We got the man himself, that's the only one that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself. And we also got the one and only Mr. Exclusive. Man, look, we have had a great wrestling week that's happened. We've seen so much stuff that's gone on with the Royal Rumble. We've seen Charlotte Flair return. We've seen her come back. We've seen Jey Uso has won the Royal Rumble. We have seen the Street Profits. Yes, and I said it. The Street Profits have returned and now making a comeback. But also, even with that, we're seeing so much go on, even with Cody and Kevin Owens. Even with that whole situation, that's even going crazy. But let's go ahead and get started. And let's start with this whole thing with this week with 3 hours of fire with Monday Night Raw, baby. I'm gonna lie. There's a few Monday Night Raws that are important. We always talk about the WrestleMania, or Raw after Mania, but what's really important is that Raw after the Rumble, because it's really all about who's making that decision. And of course, we got to start off the show seeing Jey Uso coming out. He starts out, yeeted up. He comes out there and he says he's got to make a decision. But Gunther comes out and he says he doesn't think he can beat him. He doesn't have it in him. But Jey Uso says, I'm a main eventer. This is what I'm meant to do. They said I couldn't do this, but look where I am. This is where I am, Oos. And I felt that. But then we flash forward. Because, of course, yeah, it's the Royal Rumble, but who else comes up? It's the Queen, Charlotte Flair. She comes out. She says now it's time for her to make a decision. Rhea Ripley comes around, and Charlotte tells Rhea, you jumped the gun. You're still a kid. And that really pissed Rhea Ripley off. And at this point now, she wants to actually say to Charlotte Flair, well, I want you to pick me. Because now I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a repeat of what happened at WrestleMania 39. Now we flash forward, and then we got Seth and Sammy. Now, let's just get this out the way. My man Seth is just looking like a whole cowboy. But I'm wondering what he's doing with this whole thing. Because sometimes when I'm seeing him in this all-black attire, I still think he is bringing back signs of the Monday Night Messiah. But he's talking to Sammy. He's telling Sami Zayn, you need to beat CM Punk immediately. And it needs to happen so we can kill his dreams to be at WrestleMania. So then we flash forward. Sami Zayn and CM Punk, they have their match. Unfortunately for Sami Zayn, he loses. So for CM Punk, his ticket is punched to go to the Elimination Chamber. We flash forward, and all of a sudden, what happens? Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere and hits him with a package pile driver, leaving him just dead, lifeless. And this is the finish right here. Now, to be honest, we want to talk about a few things that was going on with Monday Night Raw. I mean, to really say just a lot of what's going on. I think a lot of storylines are continuing on this whole thing. I think my main thing is just really seeing Jey Uso really couple things. We talk about aura, we talk about storyline, we talk about how good is this getting. And for Jey Uso still in that road with his bloodline story, we are seeing him develop. And, he's got that aura, man. I mean, we see it on him. We see what he's doing. We see what's going on with just everything with him as a whole. And I think even that run, it almost kind of made me think when they gave him the Intercontinental title for those few weeks, it was almost like a test run. And now that he's gotten that, they said, okay, we know we can do something with him now. And now, since we got him as the Royal Rumble winner, let's take him to the top. And I love what they're doing with it, man. It's looking good.
No,
What you think, Harp? What y'all think? What y'all think, man?
hey, look, Heartbreak Prince, has been a minute, brother. You by all means go first.
Get out of here. Yeah, no, I yeah, I definitely like let me just say with them going with Jey Uso winning the Rumble. I felt like that was a genius move by Triple H because I mean, I don't know how many people peg Jey Uso to actually win the whole Royal Rumble. I'm talking about when you got hitters like Roman Reigns, you got CM Punk, you got Seth Rollins, you know, you got Drew McIntyre. I mean, it was so many John Cena and his farewell year. It was so many heavy hitters that you know you just did not see, or at least I'm going to say I did not see this situation where Jey Uso would be the ultimate winner because you would just think any of those names are going to be a big money ticket for WrestleMania to headline WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. And so, you know, I really like and appreciate what they did there with picking somebody. I'm not gonna say unlikely because let's be real, Jey Uso has had a phenomenal run, especially these last 2.5 years. And so for them to go with him, it's showing that they really are kind of listening to the fans. You see Jey Uso come out week after week. Fans go crazy. Everybody is eating. I mean, this is a ticket. This is a money ticket. I mean, just seeing how crazy the fans get. You know, they're telling you know the wrestling world this is their champion. This is who they rock with, and Triple H listened to that and didn't try to force some other person that we've seen you know be champion down our throats. You know, and so I'm very happy for Jey Uso. The thing about it though is with Jey Uso, he is so emotional about this, and I know he's coming from a place where all his career he's been told he's a tag team wrestler. He couldn't kind of do it on his own, and maybe he didn't believe he could do it on his own. But it in his promos every time he comes out there, it takes him a minute to get himself together. Now it could just be from the sheer adrenaline of walking out to almost 20,000 fans vibing with you in that Yeet Fest. I mean, when you even got Pat McAfee and Adam Cole out here, and so they up on the table. So it's a lot. But Jey Uso, I'm so happy for him. I'm glad they went this route, and I think it's well deserved for him. And so you know, I'm excited for
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely pure emotion when it comes from him, man. Definitely.
Yeah, he has to speak in like small fractured sentences. Like
he be out of breath for sure though.
I'm gonna go to the Mania. I'm gonna punch Cody Rhodes. Like he can't cut a promo like a promo just where he's just talking. He got to get himself going in. Yeah.
It's hilarious. It really is funny, you know. And I think like it was funny because when we talked on the show last week, we gave our picks and we were like, who you think was going to win? And I think we both had this feeling that like Jey was that dark horse.
Yeah.
We knew that there was a chance, you know, because, you know, you can use those last couple of weeks leading into the Rumble. You can kind of get a feel of who is truly in the mix. And they kept throwing them in there. And I'm like, there's something about it. You know, you start kind of looking at, well, how will they set up Elimination Chamber? Because you have to look and see where Elimination Chamber is going to lead and who's going to be the person they focal point that. And so there was a strong part of me. I know LA Knight was in that mix too for me, but there was a strong part of me that said, man, Jey Uso seems like the guy that would make the most sense here, especially with all the heavy hitters, especially if you want to shock people and you don't want it to be it's one of these guys and it's easy to tell. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of hate that came from it, which I was kind of surprised, but I think I think a lot of the hate are people that was assuming automatically it was going to be CM Punk and you know those people that assumed that it was probably going to be
Cena,
maybe
probably.
Cena,
I think a lot of people wanted Cena.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people was the heartstrings were tugging. But if you look at it, this makes the most sense. You know, I'm not going to destroy his name, but he usually is on WWE TV a lot. He has his own podcast. Sam, the dude used to have the fro. Yeah. So I saw something he said, and it made 100% sense. He was talking about how Jay winning the Rumble makes complete sense to him. He said, when you go to Germany for a show and these people don't speak English, but they're out there and yeeting, and Jey Uso is not even on. He said he's not even on the show. He's getting most of the pop in another country where he's not even on the show, and he's getting the most love. And it happened twice. I think it was another event as well. He wasn't even on the show, and he got all the love during that show. It's hard for you not to push the guy that is showing off in the company at the time and doing the best for the company at the time. Like I'm pretty sure he's leading the merchandise sales. There's no way you can't tell me he's not leading the merchandise sales. And if he isn't, then maybe it's Cody and I'm like, all right, cool. But he's got to be leading the merchandise sales. And it just makes me happy to see them go a different route. Yeah. And I think we all kind of know where he's going with it. Yeah, they're going to play games with our heads for a couple of weeks, but Gunther's going to be the guy. It's got to be the one, because the way Gunther has talked down to Jey Uso, the way he's talked down to him in these promos that they have, I'm like, man, you got to fight this man, like in real life. I mean, I just the way just the way he talked about him, but it made it
Gunther knows winter is coming.
Winter is coming, right? So I think when you look at it overall, you can't. I mean, yeah, him and Cody, I guess, but nobody wants to see that. They want to see if he can conquer Gunther, and it only makes sense for them to make that route. But super happy for Jey Uso. He deserves every bit of this.
Yeah, man, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with him, man. I think it's just seeing the pure emotion, just how the crowd just really vibes with him. I mean, even the kids too. If the kids love you, you got it. That's that aura that just can't be explained. You just got it, and when you got it, you got it. But one big thing that we really need to talk about too, and Heartbreak Prince, I know you're gonna want to love to talk about this, is Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, man. I mean, just seeing these two just kind of go face to face again, and just seeing I guess that replay moment. Because honestly, when we talk about this is really like a storyline that has been years in the making. I mean, we're talking all the way from 2020, so this is a whole 5-year buildup to the last time she won the Rumble and faced Rhea Ripley for the NXT Championship and beat her. And then it was like, okay, well, now we're back to WrestleMania 39. Well, now Rhea Ripley has beat Charlotte Flair. So I wonder, what are your thoughts, Heartbreak Prince, on this whole situation?
Oh, you know where I stand 10 toes down. And that is for the Queen,
Charlotte
Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
I'm torn in the sense that I don't want to blame WWE. I don't want to blame Vince McMahon or anybody of that nature for Charlotte's reception. Like I feel like Charlotte, this return should have been like huge, and it was her return at the Rumble. Oh, chef's kiss, right? I do wish they could have kept it secret, like not have put a return date on it and just let her come out. I think that would have been even better. But her return, the reception, the crowd, the way I love, and we had messages about this, when Charlotte was going to come out, I knew, everybody else come out there, music hit, they take off, run into the ring. I said, the Queen doesn't run. She's going to saunter all the way down to that ring, and somebody's going to come and split the ropes for her to get in. But I felt bad this Monday when she came out and just her reception, audience, because I guess her winning the Royal Rumble, everybody kind of sees where this is going. And the reason why I want to go back to what I was saying earlier about her initial run and how I think it's kind of really messed up. I don't want to say messed up her career. Her career has been phenomenal, but I think it's messed up the accepting factor for the fans of her. She's been the champion 14 times, and she's only been a main roster WWE wrestler since 2017-ish or something.
I think maybe like 15. I think it
like 2015. Yeah, 2014, 2015. Yeah.
And so And so I just think that it's hard now, like for fans to get behind her because we've kind of been there, done that, and for her to have in not even a 10-year time frame on the main roster to have been a champion 14 times and now going for the 15th time, I just think that people feel like she's just entitled. Like if she's ever like healthy and on the roster, she's automatically in the picture to be the champion, and they're probably tired of seeing other people get passed over for her. And you kind of saw that this week on Monday when she came out and Rhea came out. You know, fans accept Rhea. They love Rhea. They go crazy for Rhea. Charlotte's been gone for a year and some change, and you would think that they would be happy to see her healthy and back, and they booed that lady out of the stadium. The queen, the queen. And so, you know, it's kind of heartbreaking for me because I know, you know, like I'm excited. People that are fans of her, like me, are, you know, I am excited to see her back, but the fans don't accept her and don't want her. And then I feel even worse because I also love Tiffy Time. She's grown on me. And to think that Charlotte is getting ready to go to WrestleMania, my pick is that she's probably going to face Tiffy Time, and she's probably going to end up beating her and taking the belt. It's like Tiffy just got the belt. Let her have a successful. I mean, this is just my headcanon, but this is also why the fans feel the way they feel when it comes to Charlotte. It's because it's like everything is going to just continue to be given to her, for lack of a better way. I'm not saying that she's not earning it, but it's that perceived thing that she's healthy, she gets the belt, she carries the women's division. So yeah, I'm a little heartbroken because y'all know how I feel about the queen. But it is what it is.
I'll say this: I'm heartbroken to see the Heartbreak Prince heartbroken.
Hey, I'm already in the hotel. I'm already in.
He's in the hotel tearing up.
Room 311. I'm already there.
Look, here's the thing. I love Charlotte Flair, the wrestler. I don't have anything against her, career or anything like that. But I think this is a big opportunity for the WWE and Charlotte Flair to change the whole persona of who she is. I mean, yes, people hate her, but you got to embrace that at this point. Yeah. I think they have to embrace her being the villain. And Charlotte Flair chasing after the title is not fun. Charlotte Flair being the champion and somebody chasing after her, that's fun.
That's fun.
And I think that's where they're going to eventually have to, kind of go to. She's going to win a title, unfortunately, more likely, unless she's trying to put somebody over. And the only person that she could put over in this situation, in my opinion, would be Tiffy. I don't think she's going to go to NXT. She did that before, against Rhea. I don't see that happening again, unless they're going to let her make that leap and then have, maybe, Tiffy go up against Bianca and then Rhea going up against, somebody else or whatever. I don't know if whoever wins the Elimination Chamber or something, maybe. But for me, I think this is a perfect time, when whoever she does beat, and whoever they're going to go and have her chase after, but that she's got to fully embrace villain mode. And I think, like her dad did, you got to embrace it. You got to be the most arrogant mother sucker out there.
Yeah.
People, you want people to absolutely hate you. I don't give a crap if you don't think I deserve this. I'm the queen. I'm the queen, baby. Like, I'm the queen. So I think that's what she's got to embrace. Now, to me, if I'm looking at the potential matchups that she could have, I don't like any of them. We already seen her in Rhea, and I don't think I want to see that. We've already seen her. Well, we haven't seen her in Tiffy, but there's nothing that really grabs me at that matchup.
Yeah.
And Julia, as much as I love Julia so far, I think,
awesome.
And I hate to say that, we talked about this last week, language barrier is going to be something. If she had a side piece or somebody that can talk for her, truly talk for her to push it, maybe it works. Maybe Becky Lynch can't talk that much herself, but but something like that. So, but what I really would love to have seen is Bianca and Charlotte Flair. That's the matchup I would have been like, okay, I know they've been in the ring a few times, but we haven't seen it on that level because we know Bianca can talk, so she gonna give Charlotte every bit of whatever she needs, and it's just gonna be, it would be a great, to me, would be the matchup I would want to see at WrestleMania. But
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've seen it some, maybe like tag team matches, maybe like here and there for a little, but it wasn't on the forefront. And Bianca's been carrying the tag team division, which is good. They finally got somebody who can hold that thing out for a long time and actually make the tag team titles mean something. I like the fact that her and Naomi and her and Jade at the time had tag team titles. But at some point, you can't keep your best overall athlete in the tag team division. So that's got to change.
Yeah. Especially when you have so many women in the division.
Yeah, man.
And you have so many. I mean, you got them. You got so many in NXT. Then you call some of them up, and then you release them. I mean, yeah. I mean, because when we see some people like Blair Davenport, or Indy Hartwell, you see them do so well in NXT, and then when they get called up and get absolutely nothing, sometimes on the main roster, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, we got them. Now we have nothing. Okay, well, now let's just let them go because we keep doing this, and I don't know what's going on with them when they do that, and I just it really sucks. Like, somebody for Blair Davenport is like, if you guys had no intent or no thought process on what you were going to do with her, you should have kept her in the NXT roster, like where she's been at, thriving. Point blank, period.
Well, I mean, this is a trend. If you go and look, what's the Odyssey Jones? Man disappeared for a year, didn't know where he was. Now he comes up for 3 weeks, gone. Davenport, same dream. What's my man? Donovan Doggett. Well, Donovan. Dodgekova, yeah. So him, same dream. Like, we thought, okay, he's gonna go move up, and he's gonna get back and do some good things. Gone. And for some reason, it feels like they've done that a couple of times with NXT talent, where they'll bring them up, do nothing with them, and then disappear. What's the use of bringing them up and then just not using them at all? So I agree with you. That makes no sense to me.
It's not.
Hey, y'all leave Trick and Oba right where they are.
Real facts. Yeah.
I ain't got time for every time I get a good NXT person I like, they get called up and then booted.
That's Trick,
well,
baby.
You know what? Since we talking about NXT, let's go ahead and get right into it then. When it comes to NXT, we have a special place in our heart because, we got to talk about what they be doing. And, of course, what my man Sean is constantly doing. Because we got to give Sean the chef's hat. Give him the chef's hat. The man is constantly cooking up every week. And we love to see it. We kicked off the show with Stephanie Valkyrie facing JC Jane. She defeated JC Jane. Now, just to let y'all know, she will be facing Fallon Haley for that NXT North American Women's title in a week from now at Vengeance Day. So that's going to be good, man. I can't wait to see how that's going to be looking. Flash forward, we had Lexis King. He came out, talked about what he was going to be doing with the Heritage Cup. Said some rules going to be changing. There's no longer going to be all these rounds. This one fall, one finish. That's all. And Fandango comes out of nowhere. And he says, well, guess what? I just talked to Ava. And guess what? Now we got a match next week. My God. We'll see what happens with that. Then we flash forward. Okay. We flash forward to Lonnie. Crashing out Kalani is just out here just losing her mind. And Jada, pops up, comes out, and is just watching her. It's on commentary and really just getting in the head of Lonnie. And, man, I don't know, man. At this point, she had this match with Herman Carmen Petrovich. And the thing is, she won the match. Then she got so pissed off, she put her back in a headlock and then lost the match. They reversed the decision. I've never seen nothing like this. I was almost upset. Then we flash forward to first Roxanne Perez. She came out and was saying how important it is for her to have this NXT title. Of course, Bayley's out there. She's saying, it's okay if I lose. What about you? Julia comes out. She's sick of it. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Charlotte Flair pops up. She says, I remember the last time I did this and I won the NXT women's title and I became a 2-time women's champion. And then all of a sudden, She's thinking about maybe she could do that decision, but the crowd wasn't really too into it. So now we flash forward. Flash forward. Trick Willie Wonka and Obafemi have a tag team match against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And of course, they're having these problems backstage, talking about maybe I'm the one that wins. No, maybe it's you. Maybe it's me. Who cares? But Trick is really just worried about getting his title match. But of course, they lose this match because who else comes? Eddie Thorpe. He comes out, distracts, hits Trick Williams with this belt. They get a whole DQ. Grayson Waller comes, hits him with the finish. And this is what it's looking like, man. Eddie Thorpe just beating him with a belt to a pulp. I'm not liking this. Not on Black History Month. We talked about that, man. I don't like
History
that.
Month, baby.
You ain't gonna be sitting out whipping Trick Willie Wonka like that, man. I'm not feeling it. I know Lash didn't like it neither.
Okay. I don't know. She
had a glory moment.
She might have, but that's another story for another day. That's inside the mind right there.
Man. I mean, we talk about a few things. Now, I remember a while back, months ago, we talked about a lot of things, especially with this whole women's division. We're just going to jump into a couple of things here, but let's go ahead and jump and talk about this whole thing with Kalani Jordan, man. I mean, again, this crash out moment, we talked about Kalani for a long time, just talking about the growth, what she's been doing, and of course, we can't miss talking about Jada Parker because it's been the same thing with her as well. And this is something that we talked about before. I remember saying this months ago. I said if there was anybody to get somebody to get Kalani to get her over that edge, to give her that edge, I said it would be Jada Parker. And Shawn Michaels heard me, and I'm proud of you, man, because we're cooking up again, boy. Because when I'm looking at what Kalani's doing, we talked about how she's doing this whole story, losing the title, trying to get back the title, trying to find ways to get into a match to qualify for the title, for a title match, and just losing it every outcome. And then now at this point, it's almost like, I would almost say in a way, it reminds me of how they did Roxanne Perez when she was having her bit of a heel turn. But I think this one's a lot different. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do, especially with Jada Parker and this whole thing, man. I'm really curious. What y'all think about it?
Well, I'll say this. I think that I like this for her because it is a different side of her. We all thought months ago that maybe she, we were kind of surprised she won the North American title when she first won it. And, but she did a really good job of, respecting the title and giving it a good start. I still kind of surprised she's not the champ now because, to be honest with you, if she was champ now, this whole thing with Jada Parker would probably be a lot better and give Jada a chance to maybe, win a title. And even if she was crashing out at, maybe during that time, I probably would have liked that better. But I guess they have to find a way to bring that out of her. The only thing is, and this is just for me, Kalani has a face that doesn't scream heel. That's the only thing. She, like, her personality, and you can see her personality, even with her trying to be this person. It's like I can't see that in her because she seems like she's like that, the girl next door, the girl that
so sweet.
You fall in love with that, maybe she wears glasses and she's a little nerdy in school, and you like, well, for some reason nobody likes her, she's not on the cheerleading squad, but you just have something for her. You're like, oh my God, I just really, really care about her. And that's the vision, and that's the look that I see when I see her. Then there's nothing bad. It's just that in the ring, she's a great wrestler in the ring. She's done a really good job so far. But when I see her, I'm just like, she just doesn't seem like that. And that's why watching her do this and then seeing the way Jada Parker looks at her, like that, there was one part when they showed her when she started to snap. And I wasn't sure if Jada was proud because I felt like she was proud of what she was seeing from Kalani. But there was a part of it just she knows she's in her head. So I like where the storyline is going. It's going to take me some time to kind of see Kalani as this, ruthless, person, because she just, to me, she's the wonderful girl next door.
I just gotta say, it's just something simple. It's a fall from grace, and you hate to see it.
Oh, that's tough.
That's it. I mean, my girl, she's stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
She's struggling.
Yeah, I mean, because she was doing so well and gave it, like you said, the North American title, for the women's division, a hell of a run, and then all of a sudden she lost it, and it's like now she's just kind of falling into the rest of the pack with everybody else. Sort of like this week when I saw Ruka on screen. Like she just blended in with everybody else. And I'm like, what is happening here? Not Soul, not Soul. Like she just seemed like another woman in the mix. And I hate to see it.
Yeah. I mean, but part of that is because you bring in a Julia. And you bring in Stephanie and what's the young other Zarya? I could be destroying it. Yeah, you bring those three in. Those are the three heavy hitters.
And Julia has such a presence.
Yeah,
Julia has such a presence. To your point, Mr. Xclusive.
Yeah. I think that part does hurt him a little bit, and I hate it for him because like Ruka, like I told y'all, I still think that's a heel turn that's got to happen. I think her heel turn could be different. It's going to shock a lot of people.
I can actually see it. I feel like she could have a face more for being a heel. Like now that I'm kind of envisioning it in my head, I think she could have more of like a heel turn that would make sense.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God.
That Soul Snatcher will be even more devastating.
Yeah, that jank was smooth on Tuesday night though. Boy, that jank was smooth on Tuesday night. I was like, man, she just be getting people out of nowhere with that bad boy.
Man, but I'll tell you, I do agree with you guys. I think it is one of those things where you kind of do see what's going on. I mean, even with the North American title, I definitely can see Stephanie Valkyria taking that title and running with that for a good little minute. I do kind of feel like that is probably going to be the trend maybe for the good half of 2025. And maybe we circle back to the Kalanis and the and the Jada Parkers and even hopefully the Lash Legends, if she's still on the main, if she's not called up by then.
Don't call her
Jackson. Yeah, we don't need it.
Don't call her up.
Don't call her up.
I don't even think we need to call any of the. No. I don't think they need to call up any more women at this point. And this is the same thing we've been talking about before. Stop calling them up. How about you just do this? Create some NXT tag titles for the ladies again. Bring those back, and you can have more title opportunities. Honestly, at this point, if you're making these mid-card championships, go ahead and just do women tag champions for all the brands. Do one for Raw, do one for SmackDown, do one for NXT. You have enough women you can do that with. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, that or like with the mid-level titles and the tag titles, I just think they should be interchanged. They pretty much are now. They just don't say it, but they should be interchangeable amongst all the brands. And so like when you see NXT, like let's say for instance, Jada Parker goes and takes on Chelsea Green, and she defeats Chelsea Green. Obviously, she's gonna defend that title on. She should be able to defend that title on multiple brands. I at the women's division at this point, I feel like that might be something they have to do because I don't think there's enough talent. Well, the way they're projecting or the way they're using it, I don't think there's enough talent on Raw for Valkyria to not Valkyria. Is it Valkyria? Yeah, Laura. I always say her name. Lyra. Lyra. So when Lyra, like I just feel like they don't push it. So like if what they've been doing is like a lot of these people have been going down to NXT. Okay, well you go and defend that title on NXT, and nobody's going to be mad at it. I mean, I think you just kind of make it those titles interchangeable between amongst the brands. Don't give it any specific. Oh, this is the Intercontinental title is specifically for Raw. No, for the women's division, let that thing float. That the only titles that should be specific are the World Championship titles. Everything else, let them bad boys float amongst the three brands because there's so much talent, and NXT is where, let's be honest with you, where all the women are shining right now. They get on the main roster. There's only a couple women here and there that are getting the shine that they deserve. So if you got that Intercontinental title rotating or just in the midst, and you're going to go to NXT and defend it against so-and-so, or you're going to go to SmackDown and defend it against so-and-so, I think that's the best route for that mid-level and the tag team titles, right? And they, like I said, they've been kind of doing it with the tag team titles. Yeah. I just think they should do it with the mid-card titles as well, because I think it would help build it up on all the ends, because right now they just kind of got them out there. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think I would like to see them do it that way for those mid-levels and the tag titles.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I 100% agree with you. Especially, I mean, even with Lyra, I mean, she won the title. I haven't even seen her defend it. I seen you on the Royal Rumble, shorty, but I ain't seen you defend this title yet. And it's sickening. I mean,
It is sickening.
I've seen Chelsea Green defend her title, twice already to Michin, which we've seen that, 3 times. Okay, cool. But it's like, I would like to see Lyra defend that to somebody. But I think still, again, them picking Lyra, I feel like them picking Lyra as the champion was just not a good decision.
Yeah, no, that was way too soon for that.
It's like, I just don't think she really needed it. Homegirl already has a few titles under her belt, but you don't give it to Dakota Kai, which I feel like you have more stories you can do with that. In terms of trying to defend, come on,
I'm telling you, Shayna Baszler.
That would cook so much. They have so much history. Like her and Shayna have so much history. They can just go to the moon with that. And I ain't talking Cameron Grimes. I mean, there's a lot of things when I see that story. I think this could really go far if she was the champ. But I mean, now it's like you got Lyra. So what are you gonna do? Now you have to create. Who are you gonna have go up against Lyra to do that?
There's no real feud. Yeah,
there's no real feud, and that's the thing. Like she came under the roster with, like they've been trying to push her obviously, but she's never really built any heat with anybody, like any real heat with anybody. That's why it would have made sense for Dakota Kai, because Dakota Kai's a champion, and then Baszler could just be hammering her about, remember how I used to treat you, remember how I used to do you, remember how I used to but you just remember how I used to, I would break your fingers and break your limbs. It just would have made more sense for either one of them two to win it, because I think maybe Dakota Kai can go after her, and they could use those highlight packages as the way they used to treat it. And really, for the fans that didn't watch NXT at the time, there's tape of how they used to be treated, and you'd be like, dang, I feel bad for Dakota Kai, man. She got to win this
the very first match.
Right.
Some people forget about that. That first match that they had, Shayna Baszler pretty much killed Dakota Kai.
Right. She was crying in the ring.
That ankle was done. I was like, oh my God.
She was crying in the ring. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to use that old tape, man. Use that old footage. Use those storylines, because like those main roster fans that don't watch NXT, that are just slowly creeping into the NXT world, you go back and show this package, you be like, dang, when did that happen? Now you got people going back to NXT to see why it happened. Then there's a storyline behind it. There's no storyline for her. I know they tried with Ivy Niles going to try to go in there and win it, which I guess she wins it. I guess it kind of
okay with that. But
I'm okay with it, but like,
because she's healer, so at least this gives her something. But
I think they messed up Shayna Baszler too. When I think about it, Shayna Baszler in NXT was phenomenal. I think, wasn't she undefeated?
She was,
her and what's my girl, Asuka. I wanted the only 2 undefeated women's champions that they never lost, and they ended up just having to drop the belt when they went to the main roster, if I remember correctly.
I think.
Shayna lost when she lost to Rhea Ripley. In 2019.
She lost to Rhea. Okay.
I can't remember who Asuka lost to, if she lost to anybody.
Her Queen of Spades run in NXT was phenomenal. And it's like you haven't even seen it. You haven't even, like, they've tried to bring that back, but for some reason it's like they don't give it a chance to grow. They haven't stuck with it long enough. They haven't really pushed her. And she's another one just kind of fell off. I mean, she was phenomenal in NXT.
They could fix it. It's just, I just don't, like you said, Harbor.
She doesn't even won a title on the main roster. She's been on the main roster now for what,
5 years,
something like that. Yeah,
long time.
And Lyra Valkyria comes up from NXT just being the champion, and there's another champion already. And then I hate the fact they keep skipping over Michin as well. Like I feel like Michin by now has put in the work.
Yeah,
she had some really good matches. She's been great. She should have had a payoff by now.
Yeah,
but I'm sure it's coming. It's around the corner for her. But yeah, I mean, it's a couple of women's wrestlers. That's why I said don't bring Lash Legends up, because y'all ain't gonna use her. She's gonna be in catering, and next thing you know, I'm gonna be reading that she was released. Get out of here.
She's gonna be a caterer.
We don't want. We don't want to see that at all.
Yeah, that's what they did the tag team division. The women's tag team division kind of had that, same vibe until Jade and Bianca took it. Yeah. So, and they had it for a while. They lost in that little spurt, but I haven't even seen those other champions since what happened to the Alba Fire and
something.
And Island Dawn.
I haven't seen them in months. So when they just disappeared too, they were tag team. That's why I said they should have never changed that reign. We could have seen ourselves a 7 to 8 month reign as tag team champions, or actually almost a year now as tag team champions. They built it up a little bit. They've had kind of people go after them, and it made sense. Like with her and Naomi having those titles, it's worked, and they brought different people in, and they brought Last Legend in them in to and Miss Jackson to go in there and go up against them, and it's worked. And I think, like I said, the Intercontinental title right now, I don't know what they did, and I wish they wouldn't have done it this way. I really feel bad.
Yeah,
I really feel bad for her.
And even with the whole Selena Vega thing, like I just we couldn't.
I'm sorry, it makes you upset.
That
talker.
It's like they don't. It's like they don't know what to do with anybody not named Becky, Charlotte, Rhea, Liv, and
I'd even throw Bianca.
I don't know if I said Bailey, and Bianca. Yeah. It's like it's always that main six, that core six, maybe seven if you want to put in Alexa Bliss now that she's back, which is another phenomenal return. But if you not named them, you probably not seeing a WWE title.
Yeah, at least not a legit run or anything.
No, not yeah. And I hate to say it, you had Sasha Banks and just didn't do anything with her like legit. Like the lady will win the title one day and 2 days later on Raw.
Man, look,
like it makes
bad memories. Some bad memories you bringing back there.
Yeah, they got to do better when it comes to, because they have the talent in women. They just, it's like, I don't know. It's like they just get to this area where they're like, we don't know what to do. Give it to Rhea. Give it to Liv.
Do we just give them their own show at this point and truly focus on building up storylines for the women? Because the women have been, let's be honest with you, a sideshow for the most part, unless you're in the, for the world titles or whatnot, and they kind of toss it in. But I'm pretty sure, because there's a lot of people that watch NXT now, let's be honest with you, just for the women. They watch NXT because there's a lot of greatness on NXT. Like, we're not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, and that's what it is. They could probably do it. They're at the point now as an organization that you could do an all women's show.
Yeah.
And make it work. And, with the right people, maybe you throw Shawn Michaels in there and let him cook, for whatever the women's show would be called. But maybe that's the route that they have to go to, because it's just, it's hard at times, because there's so much talent on the men's roster. I think that the women's roster get kind of pushed to the side here. They do some things here and there that are great, but it's just a little bit tough.
Yeah. Definitely can be. But, we talked about NXT and Raw for a little minute, but it's time to talk about one of the best parts of the end of the week, Friday Night Smackdown. So, we talked about Raw with the 3 hours of fire. We talked about NXT with Shawn constantly cooking up. But, we got to talk about a few great things that happened with SmackDown. We started it off again with Jey Uso coming through, telling Cody, look, I might choose you, but it might be Gunther. I'm not sure yet. We're coming with my decision. I'm going to let you know, Oos. And all of a sudden, who comes out? The man with the magic boot. The werewolf. Hell, you see who it is. Hell, you know who it is. Hell, the man himself, Jacob Fatu, comes and he tells Jey Uso at everybody. And first of all, before even that, he tells Cody, you took that from my family. And now I got to find a way to get it back to my family. And tells Jey, if anybody is going to bring that title back to the family, I know it's not going to be your ass. That's what he said. Jacob Fatu, getting disrespectful, getting crazy. They attack each other. Now, at this point, Jacob, go ahead, super kicks Jey Uso. Jey Uso super kicks Tama Tonga, gets crazy, all in up. we're just seeing chaos, and that becomes our main event. So now we flash forward. We see Bianca. She goes ahead and defeats Piper Niven to secure her spot into the Elimination Chamber. Now, I'm still a little curious as to what they're going to do with Bianca, so we'll see what happens with that. Now we flash forward to Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew McIntyre comes out, cuts an amazing promo because, as always, he's praying that he can just get to WrestleMania. And this is what we're all hoping for. He cuts a promo. Jimmy tells him, look, you sound like an ex-girlfriend. You just sound like you're whining. LA Knight cuts a great promo, tells people, hey, for all the men and the mental health stuff, very positive promo he cut out for that. But then, of course, we see the ending finish here. Drew McIntyre secures his spot into the Elimination Chamber. Now we flash forward to the Street Profits. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love seeing this. Cut an amazing promo. Told the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY every time, look, it's not even a notice. We're letting y'all know we're coming back for those titles. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, you're hearing it first, Eric Knight. I'm foreseeing it to see the Profits win the tag team champions at WrestleMania. I'm calling that right now. Then we flash forward to Kevin Owens. Classic promo in the car. Wouldn't be classic if it wasn't. He says that Sami Zayn, that it is everything happened with him and Cody, it's all his fault. Because of a disgusting human being. How do you sit there and you help Cody? And then you watch Cody literally almost kill him. Then you go to the Rumble and you help Roman Reigns. Oh, man, there's so many ways I felt KO on that one. Then we flash forward to Tiffany Stratton. Man, I'm going to tell you this right now. This was an amazing promo cut by her and Charlotte. Tiffany said, I'm tired of getting all these comparisons to Charlotte Flair. They've always compared me to you. They always said this is who I am and this is who I look like and this is who I'm trying to be. No, when I beat you at WrestleMania, I'm going to be the one and only Tiffany Stratton. And Charlotte Flair barely acknowledges her. She says, you need to be begging me to choose you. Get it? This is the queen. That's just how it is. But just like we was talking about before, this is something that Charlotte Flair knows. Look, I'm not new to this. I've been true to this. And this is not my first. This is probably my 10th, almost my 15th being here. Then we flash forward to Cody. Okay? And Jey Uso having a tag team match with Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. Yeah. Okay. Now, that was a great match, but we see Cody with the finish, with a crossroads, and then out of nowhere, we see Solo drops Cody right there. And this is the finish right here. Now, to be honest, what's my favorite part of watching SmackDown? Y'all already know. The man with the magic boot. The man that is just full of greatness. Hell, I love it. Hell, I couldn't stop. I mean, when we talk about storyline, we talk about aura, we talk about how good is this getting. We are still seeing the bloodline side quest stories continue. We talked about what Jacob Fatu has been doing, and we've also talked about what Jey Uso has been doing. But one of the biggest things that I think that we need to really talk about is what the hell is Solo Sikoa doing back? What is the point of him returning for the WWE title? What is the point of this? What is going on?
Hell.
What are your thoughts on this? Hell.
Man. HB Prince, I'll let you go first, brother.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't have much. I don't know what to think about this yet. Because I noticed he wasn't in the Rumble. So then I started wondering if he was out injured or something. But then, he came back and he did this. And I really don't know where this puts him in the story because in my mind, WrestleMania has already been written. I just have this strong feeling that it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. So I now you throw Solo in there. I really don't know where this goes and why. But I'm still happy to see Solo, back in the ring. So I guess, it goes to like Mr. Exclusive always likes to talk about, long-term storytelling, I guess. I would chalk it up to that because I really don't have an answer for it.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's so much that happened on this episode. there's a lot that happened on this episode. I don't know what they're going to do with Solo here. My only assumption is they're going to probably have him face Cody at Elimination Chamber as a filler type of thing at this point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, but it also brings up a question like, so where is this new bloodline technically? And obviously, we know that Roman is the tribal chief. Are we changing the name of this group? Are we going to see Solo and Fatu kind of go at it because of whatever? There's little pieces that you just kind of got to figure out if they're going to bring it all together. So that's interesting to me. But there's a couple things that I want to say. First, Kevin Owens. Hey, look, I told everybody months ago. Kevin keeps blaming Cody for all of this, and he's 100%. No. Take that back. Erase it. 1,000. No. 3,000% correct. This is all Cody. This is all Cody's fault. The sexiest last name in wrestling didn't want no parts of this. He didn't want to be bothered. He said no. He's trying to be a good guy. He was trying to be a good guy. But no. Cody you gotta come in. You gotta face me for the title. Now, thank God for this because guess what? We know that Cody's title reign was looking pretty stale. It was really, really stale. It was a really stale title reign. Kevin Owens made his title reign the last 5 or 6 months relevant. Since the bloodline matchups and stuff, he made this title reign relevant. And now he's kind of give Cody a little juice, and we had hints of maybe we see mean Cody, we see heel Cody. That could be possibly coming up because of the way Kevin was treating him and all that stuff. Kevin Owens is a menace. The way he treated Sami Zayn on Monday night, diabolical. But hey, man, that's the sexiest last name in wrestling. That's all I know about that. So yeah, Kevin Owens, you continue to cook. You continue to be that MVP that you have been. I want to say that. I had to make sure that Kevin Owens gets his love on that. Then my other thing I want to throw in would probably be about Charlotte and Tiffy time. Great promos. But what I don't like is that we're seeing the champions having to, and yes, I know Charlotte is
beg.
You're begging? I'm the champion. You should want to fight me. So I don't like that for the champions because I feel like the champions should have a little bit more swag when it comes to that. Yes, you want to fight the greatest of all time. I understand that. But begging, I'm the champ right now. You should be begging me. That's the attitude I need the champions to have. And I realized no, don't want this. No, I need you to understand that this is my title. If you want it, you have to pick me. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But I do understand the respect to Charlotte Flair.
Flair.
No,
I think they had a great promo, man. I think especially with Tiffany Stratton, just really establishing look, this is a possible WrestleMania match. Now I think it really could be good. I think if they build it up well, I think it could be an amazing match. But the question is, how would they do it, and who would you have win? Mm-hmm. Again, I think we said this earlier. You can't have Charlotte Flair win because obviously that'd just be obvious. You need to have Tiffany Stratton win that, defend that, and win. And that way, at least that makes her career and her title run more credible. And then you can say that for Tiffany Stratton for her first WrestleMania. You beat Charlotte Flair.
Flair. Yeah, Charlotte Flair. Nobody does it better than you, Prince.
Shout out to Carmella. She's the one that started that. I wonder if she's ever going to come back. I
kind of miss Carmella a little bit.
Yeah. Her I beat Charlotte Flair was.
I beat Charlotte Flair. The me. Yeah. It's all about me. It's all about me. Me.
I will say to get to the sexiest last name in wrestling. I know that's your boy. That promo this week was definitely fire. To see that they were getting ready to go this route for obviously setting up a WrestleMania match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. As it was for me, it was like we've kind of seen this. We know that they definitely when they have chemistry together in the ring, and we know that generally when they face each other, they put on some A1 bangers. But I was like, I don't know. This kind of seems like out of nowhere. Like I feel like this is a story I would have wanted to have seen being developed like months ago. Except because it seems like this is just recently kind of started to turn around, maybe 2 months ago or so. But then when he cut this promo in the car, I found myself agreeing with Kevin. Like I couldn't do nothing but agree with him. Like you came out and helped Roman Reigns. Yeah, you did. Yep. And he's like, but when I needed you, you weren't there. No, he really wasn't.
Correct. Yeah.
And then he said, you're a terrible friend. I said,
yeah,
it's kind of right on that.
He did
horrible
watch you
friend.
get hit plenty of times.
Yeah, I said, he's got a point there. I said, Sammy, you got some explaining to do. And so I'm excited to see where this goes because they still got another month or so before WrestleMania to get this to get it like to where it's peak. But I'm excited for it because Kevin Owens when he's sitting in the automobile and he turns that camera on, what he's getting ready to put out is going to be fire.
Yep.
And I mean he's so good, man. Kevin Owens is so good, and I mean they really do have a gym with him. I mean he can be your WWE champion and carry it. He can be your Intercontinental champion and carry it. He can be a heel and carry it. He can be your face and carry. I mean, he's a gym, man, and it's all in a package that is not your prototypical wrestler. You know what I mean? And that's a Hall of Famer right there. And he's now, I mean, on the mic, you put a mic in front of him, a camera, he's just good. Comedy, he can throw comedy in there. Little things. I mean, he's A1, and I feel the same way about Sami Zayn, except for the sense that like I feel like Sami could be more, and they don't really give him the opportunities that I think he should probably have received. Because I know there was a time where Sami Zayn was thought to be like this next level wrestler compared to Kevin Owens, but when it came to the main roster, Kevin Owens kind of took off. And Sami Zayn found himself barely able to call himself a mid-carder, I will say. It took everything in him just to get the Intercontinental Championship shot that he got. But the bloodline thing is really kind of what kind of helped lift Sami Zayn from out of that place of obscurity and kind of put him there. But I believe he has more to give too. But Kevin Owens has really maximized every bit of his opportunities. And I mean, he's good, man. He really is.
Yeah, I said last week, he's MVP. Like every era has that wrestler who can do it all, and they're great all the way around. They don't need the title to be great. They're just great all the way around. This generation person is Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
and that's Sexy's last name. I know I say it all the time as a I mean it, but I say it, but I do like the talent is so great from Kevin Owens that is just absolutely ridiculous what he's able to do from a week to week basis. If you're in a crutch and you say we need somebody just to kind of make this right, Kevin Owens is that guy. You go and you grab a Kevin Owens and he makes magic every time. Sammy, like you said, he was right there with him, coming up into the main roster. Sammy's a lovable loser.
Yeah.
I mean, let's that at this point, that's who Sami Zayn is. He is a lovable loser. And I don't hate Sami Zayn, everybody. It's just look at the way he's portrayed. He's like, let's think about if Sami Zayn would have won the Rumble, right? We'd have been like, wow, they did lead up to it. I mean, we're happy for him. People probably would have been mad, but people was like, okay, Sammy's finally getting his due. Most people would probably say that. But the way it happened, and just everything with Sammy leading up into it, like he's in everybody's storyline. Like it's crazy work. He's in the Bloodline storyline. He's with Cody. He's with CM Punk. He's in everybody's storyline, and he doesn't get any benefits from it. He loses everything. He is. Yeah. We all know he's a great wrestler. We can't take that away from him. But Sami Zayn is a lovable loser. And like great person. And Sammy, if you do see this, I don't hate you. I'm just saying the way everything is set up, you are a lovable loser, sir.
Because he had a fire match against Roman Reigns for the title a while back. And I thought, this should be showing the executives there that, hey, we got something in Sami Zayn. If we could put him in storylines that are good, and that kind of fell by the wayside too. And I want to hop to something else too that you mentioned earlier, and it really is starting to kind of, my brain is starting to kind of put the pieces there when you talked about Charlotte Flair, and just thinking about her reception at NXT, and then she came out here on SmackDown. And I think it seems like to me, and I could be wrong, I don't know how y'all feel, I get your opinions, WWE doesn't really know how they want to market Charlotte. And so I do believe, like what you were saying earlier, now that I'm thinking about it, they've kind of seen like they've been hedging, because she has these moments where she's trying to cater to the crowd, but then she has these moments where she becomes very arrogant and cocky because the crowd doesn't seem like they're giving her the feedback that maybe they were expecting to give her. And I think that Triple H and them over this next couple of weeks, if they're gonna, she's going to be a main eventer, obviously, for one of the women's titles at this point. But over the next couple of weeks, they need to go ahead and say your heel, your face, and whatever it is going to be for Charlotte, and let her run, preferably heel, especially if she's going to go against Tiffy time. Go ahead and make her heel. Let her come out there, be arrogant, be cocky, be hated.
Yes,
and let's go ahead and get this thing like going.
Charlotte's got a chance to be. Yes, we all say she's the greatest now, but like she could potentially be the greatest female heel wrestler of all time. Everything is set up for her. She's got the name, she's got the talent, she can talk on the mic. If she needs to get downright nasty. I mean, just nasty. I need her to say things that are just unforgivable. Like, did you just say that, Charlotte? I need that. You a reject wannabe. Whatever it needs to be said, Charlotte. You say that to whoever you end up facing at WrestleMania. Become the heel that we all know that you are inside. Like, be the greatest heel of all time.
Yeah.
For women wrestlers, that you have that. I agree with you 100%. It's time to turn that sucker around and make her the greatest heel of all time.
Oh no, I see a comment just now that no. No. And Charlotte should have put Rhea in her place on Monday. I was a little disappointed because when she came out there talking about she was the mommy, Charlotte should have reminded her that she's standing before a queen.
She said Charlotte over Rhea Ripley as a female goat. Never.
No, I strongly disagree. No.
Well, I will definitely say this though. I think when we look at Charlotte Flair, especially like with SmackDown, what she was doing on there. I mean, when she got on there, even when talking with Tiffany Stratton, just again showing those signs of her being that heel. Like it was just like we was talking about before, like y'all was saying, that arrogance. She was really showing that so much. And I was like, okay, this is the side of Charlotte that I like. Because on NXT, just like y'all was saying, it did seem like she was trying to pander more to the crowd, saying, I was a two-time. No, you didn't like that? Like you wasn't sure. Wow. I was like, all right, come on, Charlotte. We know what you did. We know what you're capable of, but we want you as the heel. We know what you did. Let them know. Tell them. I mean, at that point, but that's why I think I really enjoyed how she carried herself on SmackDown, because I was like, this is the side you should really be. You should be begging me. She told her you should be on your hands and knees begging me to pick you. And I said, oh man, this is the side of a villain I would love to see.
That's because
the one. Because again, it is built up. She is a 14-time champion. Yes, she's got the accolade. And even if she wanted to, she can jump on the mid-card and take all those damn titles if she wanted to.
Yep.
That woman is great.
But she can have a run.
She can make those mid-card titles relevant. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you, I think that might be also something that WWE has to look at. Maybe you give an Intercontinental title to a Bayley, or you give it to a Becky Lynch or somebody. It's going to have to be one of those, like that Prime 7 that we talked about, that has to help build up that younger crop. Like, Laria would have benefited from having to go after somebody in that range. Now you just write off the champ. Like, I feel like maybe they take the title from her and then she has to build back up. There's so much
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I think with
I'm loving the
Lyra,
Charlotte love I'm seeing coming in. Y'all are making me
they
feel.
love it. They love
There's
it.
a lot of
Well,
Charlotte
You
love
got
in here.
rare
Somebody
air.
Charlotte. I think
Rare air.
somebody's paying.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody's getting paid here.
There we go, Cole. There we go.
Yeah, Bates was in here talking all that
Where-
stuff about it. I'm surprised it's coming from Bates.
Where is everybody on Monday and Thursdays? Come on, we need to get this going. The Queen has returned, and this has been just diabolical how the crowd has treated the Queen in her return.
There was one thing I seen on Busted Open, and Bully Ray was talking about. So they were there live at the Royal Rumble when Charlotte's music hit, and they said all you heard was 70,000 plus people pop for Charlotte Flair's entrance music.
Yeah,
and then when she won the Royal Rumble, you heard 70,000 plus people pop for Charlotte Flair winning. So they were definitely happy to see her come back. But I do agree. I think if they didn't, and I think I was saying this before, but we haven't talked about it on the show, but I had said, if they didn't even say anything about her returning, I think if they just did a whole surprise like they did with Edge, just full-blown surprise, win the freaking Royal Rumble. Oh my God. I think even if I didn't even see a promo of her coming back, because I felt like it kind of gave me ideas like, all right, she might win this.
She's going,
So, but again, I don't, I always thought Charlotte Flair was great. I do think there were parts from her career, especially when it was her and Sasha, when they kept doing those 3-week title runs. For like a smooth 6 months.
That's how Charlotte got to 14 so fast.
Yeah, like you had 6 title runs.
Like that lasted like a few days. And
even with Sasha, I think she's got like 5 or 6 titles. It's just like, that's insane. So it's like, I feel like that part of her career does kind of get, shadowed or overlooked, or some people might say, that's not really anything because that's not really a real title run, which and again, I do agree. You wouldn't count it, but it's still, when you look in the books, it's still a title run. But even that being said, with Charlotte, I do feel like that is one thing that some fans do not like with her. And I think they just, like, y'all got to chill. Homegirl ain't been around here for a year and a half. We haven't seen Charlotte Flair. Honestly, does the division need something different? Yes. Because honestly, we're not seeing nothing that's jumping off right now. We're not seeing Becky Lynch. We don't need to see the android, as they call her. We don't. To be honest, Bayley has been on every brand. I have seen Bayley so much. And I love Bayley to death. But I think she's kind of getting a little oversaturating too. I think they're kind of running. I feel like they're stretching the horsewomen thin here. And again, like, we got Bianca. She's going crazy. But it's like we got all these women in the division. Let's utilize them. Let's do something with them. You got a mid-card championship. Use these women that you got. You got these titles here, but again, with Charlotte Flair, you can do a lot. She's a villain type person. So is Tiffany Stratton. But now that you got Alexa Bliss back on SmackDown,
that's a good thing. Yeah.
It's nice to see, but I question, where's her position going to be? Because we've seen some flashes with her on the 6, from the wide 6'6". We've seen the little, if you were watching the match, you've seen those little parts of the video started flashing a little bit. You've seen some stuff, so she's got some ties with them, and I'm very curious to see what they do with that if she does join that, because that would be nice to see, especially with her with Nikki Cross, because they've had ties with each other, especially with the Fiend. And I think that's also interesting. Maybe they do something with that. I don't know if they're going to do that, because of course sometimes I don't know if they don't remember some of this stuff, if nobody tells them stuff.
They forget.
But I need them to remember, hey, we're going to bring Alexa Bliss. Let's also intertwine the storyline with her and Nikki Cross and how much they've had together as a tag team. And even, when Alexa was having that whole situation, she was trying to stay away from the Fiend. And that was the whole thing. So I wonder if they do something with that. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But they definitely need to start, turning up, because It's definitely not something I'm not liking.
Yeah.
One last thing. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad, Mr. So I'm
No, no,
This gonna be my last
no.
point.
Go ahead.
Um, I remember you guys talked about seeing Bianca and Charlotte. I would have loved to see that. And the reason why is because if we go down the list of the line of horsewomen that Bianca has beat at WrestleMania, it has
Yeah.
been done to Sasha. It has been done to Becky. Okay. And it has been done to Bailey, not at a WrestleMania, but at a SummerSlam. So the last one left is Charlotte.
Intriguing.
And in my opinion, I feel like that would be something they could talk about, possibly. But just something throwing out there.
And so, Rare Air is killing it right now. He said he hope Bliss do her own thing because the Wyatt Six is a sinking ship. But it's funny because the way they brought them back. I thought they had been doing it. They had done a good job. They weren't overusing him or anything of that nature. But now we haven't seen anything from him for a while, and now they're on SmackDown. I don't know how they're going to start that feud, but he says acknowledge them, but stay away. And I do probably think that's probably best right now for Alexa Bliss, unless they're going to have some banger storyline that she needs to be involved in.
Right.
But my last thing I want to toss out real quick, just to get y'all opinions early, so that if it happens, we can call it. John Cena. All right. He comes back. He's the final person in the ring with Jey Uso. Goes over the rope to put Jey over. But the promo he sits down and cuts after the Royal Rumble, where he automatically interjects himself or puts himself into the Elimination Chamber, says, I got to fly off and film a movie, but I will be back. And he's going to be dragged through the mud for it. But he wants to win title number 17 so that he could one day shake the hand, and this is quoting John Cena, shake the hand of the person that wins 18. He really did sell this idea of his entitlement to be in the Elimination Chamber. He did a great job, great promo. John's a professional, obviously. My question is, do you actually believe that at some point this year, in John Cena's last run, that he will hold the WWE championship title?
I'm gonna say I think he does, but I think it's at the very end of the year. Like, I think it's gonna be something that happens at the very. I don't think it's gonna happen it may happen in one of the big events, but then you got to transition from it. I feel like if he wins it, he retires. And I think the way to do it is you find a way for him to win it. Maybe they do a Saturday night main event at the very end of the year, or some type of pay-per-view, and then he wins it at that pay-per-view, and then the next night he retires it. Maybe they do a tournament after the fact. I don't think he ever defends it, though. Like, I feel like that's the way they do it. You have him win it, and then he releases it. They let the next person go in there, do their thing, and then they have a tournament for it. And that would be great heading up into the Rumble, because then you got tournament, and then you got maybe you do go old school. We talking about WrestleMania what? 5? Was it WrestleMania 5 they did the tournament? WrestleMania 4?
Y'all knowledge on it is better than mine.
Yeah, I think so. WrestleMania 5 was when it was. I think it was WrestleMania 5. So when like Macho Man ended up facing Ted DiBiase for the championship, tournament style, you could do that. You could do that, and that could work out perfectly for them. That would be something that I would like to see if they end up doing that. But other than that, I can't see them winning it. I can't see them winning it, and maybe going from there. Let's see.
I'm listening to what he's saying, but John Cena's going to be full heel. Y'all, because he was kind of faced at the Rumble. Does he have enough time within this year? Which, I mean, it's still early.
I think he does. I think he does. I think he has a chance to fully go heel. I think it's going to be a different side, though. I think we might possibly see more of a corporate side of John Cena. And the reason why I say that is because
John Cena.
Because it's because of the promo of what he said at the press conference, because of how he said it. Yeah. It was just, this is something I need to do. This is something that's best for business. I've been a businessman. I was like, This might be a different side of John Cena that we see. It could be a possible heel corporate John, and we've seen him do that against, when it was the Authority and even corporate Kane. So there's a possibility. I wonder if we see that side of him. Now, by him winning gold, maybe. And again, we got to remember too, he's gonna be doing this whole run until December 31st of this year.
Yes.
So if he does win it, maybe. I do see possibly maybe the end of the year. If he does win, maybe he'll have it for maybe like a month, if that. Maybe 2-3 months, if that. Maybe, but I mean, it's very hard to tell.
Yeah, I was thinking SummerSlam would be a time for him to win it, like I ain't gonna say last major, but the next biggest pay-per-view to WrestleMania.
Mhm.
But I don't know how I feel about that because how I'm thinking about it is they have a good storyline of Jey Uso and Cena. Jey Uso throws Cena over the rope, sends Jey Uso to WrestleMania. Jey Uso wins the belt. Do they come back and face head to head at like a SummerSlam? But then also, I feel like there's a issue with that in the sense that Jey Uso's run. I mean, he would have had a 4-month run as champion, 5-month run maybe as champion. I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out I'm thinking about that. But then the belt, I guess the belt he would go after is the one that Cody currently holds, and CM Punk may have that. So you would get a CM Punk Cena for SummerSlam. Right. That would probably be really good. Now that I think about it. So
and SummerSlam's 2 nights this time, so it's gonna be main event. Yeah.
So I mean, because obviously Punk doesn't need to hold the belt; he doesn't need to have the belt like for any club. We all know Punk is Punk. So a Cena Punk before he retires, that's probably where they would go to sell SummerSlam for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's all my head canon, but I do feel like because of that promo, it's something is just telling me he's going to win the 17th title.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're gonna set it up, but I have a feeling he's gonna do it. And like you said, maybe he never wrestles and defends it. He retires after that, which kind of sucks because he already said like once he retires, he's not coming back for any like bumps on the table, any chair shots, anything of that nature. So this is the last time we will see him, according to him. But I can kind of believe it because he's a movie star now, and all this stuff with contracts, but. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how this would look because we're actually talking about and it actually has a feeling of him winning 17 times.
Yeah, he was winded in that Rumble. And I mean, he hasn't wrestled in a hot minute, but before then, he was winded in that Rumble. So that's why I don't think he can hold the title for crazy long time, just for conditioning purposes. And, I don't think they want to have WWE want to have a situation where like he wins it and then you have a Roman situation where your champion is not there or Brock, I should say more than Roman, but Brock type of situation where your champion is gone for a couple of months, doing a movie, and then you don't have that person on TV at all. Yeah. And so I think he wins the title. But I think it's at the very end of the year. I do want to get a quick shout out to my guy from the grind. My boy Corey, man, he's done a lot of stuff. My man Corey has a great wrestling show. So y'all make sure y'all check out the grind. I want to make sure I give him a little love on that end. On Sartopa Media. So give a shout out to my man Corey. He's done some stuff on Legacy. I want to get that shout out in there real quick.
Hey, comment, subscribe at the grind.
Yeah, that's right, baby. So thank you for that comment, brother. I really appreciate that. But yeah, man, that's the way I see it. Cena's gonna be very interesting this year, y'all. It's gonna be a very, very interesting run on how that kind of plays out. I really just don't know, but that's the good thing about WWE now. We just don't know. And it's not predictable like it used to be for a couple of years. They're like, thank God.
No, for real. Well, we talk about like unpredictable. I tell you what wasn't predictable at all was seeing some of these releases again. And we've seen some people, one of the biggest names that some people have really talked about was Sonya Deville because, she was just on TV. Authors of Pain, Paul Elray, Blair Davenport, and my man Cedric Alexander, man. It was really sad to kind of see them getting released last night. That's it.
And I don't understand these releases because the WWE right now has to be killing it financially. So like to release, like it's like no explanation. Like you got this new contract with Netflix. Y'all got all this revenue coming in from different sponsors you see all over the ring and all that kind of stuff. And you release Sonya Deville, like who is literally just on television. Like I can see people who you hadn't seen in a while. They don't have any plans. Just Cedric Alexander was just with your boy Bouncy. So I mean,
Yeah.
hey, the jabs coming from the rear air. Just yeah, I mean, hey, rip PFC. Now they just gonna be what, FC or PF? I don't know, man. Like it's crazy. It's crazy work out here with WWE and their releases.
You just never know.
I'm also hearing something about Bronson Reed is on the chopping block.
That would be crazy to me.
I would like to see, see what's going on with that. But yeah, I saw some come across my scroll, and it could just be clickbait. But talk about them having plans to release Bronson Reed.
Bronson would be very interesting to me because they gave him such a good push, and fans would start. He was getting over.
Yeah,
but that one. I mean, maybe it's the injury. Maybe the injury is worse than we think, and maybe that has something to do with it. But Bronson Reed would be one that I would see tough for them to do or maybe they just don't have space for him. And there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on right now with the way the releases are going. Now, Sonya Deville's another one that I would say had mid-level title potential. Yeah, she had mid-level like title potential. Like she could have been. She can talk on the mic. Let's not be crazy. She's a beautiful woman. Other side or not, if she plays on the other side or not, she's still a beautiful woman. She's still gonna bring eyes to it, and she can talk on the mic. So she would another person that would have probably made sense for Anaconda title. Corey said, I think the releases have to take place in order to ensure stories are significant. Mm-hmm. This regime is more focused on the storyline versus hoarding talent.
And that might be a true point because we know under Vince, it was all about hoarding talent. Like he would just sign everybody so that
nobody else could get
him.
Yeah.
And maybe Triple H is looking at it like, hey, look, we don't need to do this. We got enough talent on here. We can, whatever, run with whatever. It's just shocking though when you see like Sonya Deville was released because it's Sonya Deville. She was just literally on television. Yeah, like she's part of Pure Fusion Collect. Like and how do you when you sat down? What made you say, we can release Sonya Deville? Like, why not Shayna Baszler? Like you haven't done anything with her. Like you could
Shayna. Go on. Now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean just to be tossing people's jobs up there. What I'm saying is like, it doesn't make sense sometimes how the wrestlers they select to kind of release. And I don't know their contracts, but you would just think that. She was just on television.
Well, I mean, Cedric seemed like he could be in a hurt situation. I think Eric was the one that said it. Might have been Bates that said it in the group chat. But I would not be surprised if that's something that we do see, and I'm pretty sure that MVP and them are gonna like pull for that. I mean, and the Hurt Syndicate is doing a really good job at AEW right now. So that might be what people best for business. You know what I'm saying for my guy.
Real quick, I wonder if Zoe saved her job with her performance in the Rumble because I thought she actually had some spots in the Rumble that was pretty good. That she was showing some athleticism and all that kind of stuff. But I'm the same. That's what I'm thinking too. Like you got Zoe, all these wrestlers, but what it is what it is.
I think when it comes to Zoe too, because I remember I used to say this all the time with Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark, I think, is their woman that they have to literally strictly do crazy spots.
Right.
Because every time she's been in, whether it's those ladder matches, the tag team fit, they've always had her do like a spot that's like insane. And she's been one of my favorites to watch. If it's not her, then it's Io Sky. But excuse me. Zoe Stark, I mean, just does amazing stuff in that ring. So I can't see her really going anywhere. And same thing for Shayna Baszler. I can see.
Corey, you're a fool for that one, brother.
That's crazy. You're a fool for that. Zoe's great though. I think she's another one that kind of. I think she had so much potential in NXT, and then when they called her up, they didn't really know what to do with her. So now she's kind of getting thrown into the mix, but she's making it work somehow, some way. So yeah, but again, it still is a huge shock
Miss Mo, I agree. I hope that when they bring back Bronson, it's for a big reaction because he was definitely getting over before going out for injury.
Yeah,
he was cooking.
It was. If it wasn't for that, that injury, I think he'd still be going crazy right now, like doing something. So it just makes you wonder. But we talked about 3 hours of fire with Raw and SmackDown. We talked about the greatness of Shawn Michaels cooking up, and we even talked about what happened this week with some of these releases. So again, hey, we appreciate you guys watching as always. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment because y'all was going crazy in the comments today.
Yeah,
so
we
y'all gotta keep
appreciate
doing
that
it.
comment love, man. We appreciate
love
that
it.
comment
We love
love.
it. Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on X. And of course, keep telling people what we're doing because we're going to keep coming back and just talking about this greatness that we are seeing with this road to WrestleMania. So do not worry. We will be back yet again. I am your
Mission
humble
continues.
host. Come on now. I'm your humble host, Eric Knight, the man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Exclusives here. And it is Heartbreak Prince. And we thank you again for watching Exclusive Nights.
There was. And the best there ever will be.
There will be. That's right. Because the Nights will never
be the same. Let's get it.